down to just 2 players with a bomb down.
Falsey finding 3, 4. Will we see the ace from Falsey this round?
Welcome to Showstopper, BU Gaming Club's Collegiate Valorant podcast. I am your host, Gabriel Moncau, as always, and also joining me as always is Mr. Phillip Tran. How are you?
I'm great, dude. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Shockingly, I know, to absolutely everyone's surprise, including our own, we have no special guests today.
No, it's just us fools.
Hopefully we can be special enough, Phillip. I think we can manage that. Or we can at least try.
We can try.
We can definitely try. I mean, to be fair, we've had some characters on the show. Like, they've been absolutely great so far. So
you are right.
But we do have some content to keep us company, even if no guests. And as has been the case for every episode so far, there has been a patch note that we need to cover. That's the Valorant 2.02 patch notes. So I'm going to bring those up. Do you want to talk us through them, Phillip?
Yeah, of course. And it seems like in this patch, Riot Games have gotten a little light. They've made one of the, I think, more significant changes with gunplay in this game, which is the rifle movement inaccuracy being higher across the board. They've also increased something they called rank rating convergence, which means the more you pop off, the higher your like rank rating will go up. And I think they're doing that because they want people to reach their rank faster. And other than that, Diamond 3 is now solo and duo queue only.
Those are things.
Rounds it out. Yeah.
Those are things that changed. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting actually that they chose to make the Diamond 3 queue kind of similar to the Radiant queue then, right? Yeah, and then the Immortal queue. Yeah. Do you really think that there's people like at Diamond 3 that are comparable to like Radiant? Like, do you think it's all the same from Diamond 3 to Radiant?
Is it all the same? Dude, I'm in Stone 0. Like, asking me, and I don't think it makes much of a difference. But I don't know. I think Diamond 3 is the proving grounds. Like, if you pass this point, you're definitely good enough to become an Immortal. As the adage goes, an Immortal is just a diamond who plays more.
Well, yeah, as the old adage goes. And for the other changes, I'm actually quite a fan of these. I mean, the rifle inaccuracy, if we look at them here on the stream, they've made it so that the running error across rifles increases from 3.75 to 5. That's quite a significant change, 1.25. The walking inaccuracy went from 0.8 to 1.1. And the crouch inaccuracy went from 0.3 to 0.8, which is actually absurd. I hadn't noticed that before. You won't
be able to end spray people at all now, huh?
So now you're as accurate crouching as you used to be walking. That's kind of big.
True?
It is.
That's interesting.
That
is interesting. Unless they use separate values for that, which I don't think they did.
I mean, it could be scaled differently, but it looks from this. It looks to this like it's the same. That's pretty spooky.
Interesting to see. I mean, how have you seen this play out in games? Have people actually not been running and headshotting you across all your games?
Mate, it'll happen regardless of what they do. Let's be honest. Like, especially at the lower ranks, like, people are going to be running and gunning anyway. But
dude, I'm pretty sure I hit a few shots that I shouldn't have, and I still am.
Me too. Oh, absolutely.
RNG favors me. That's why.
Well, I can't nod to that. Mine is not quite as good.
No, your RNG is not too great.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I do want to see Riot change is the horizontal spray being completely random. Now that is actually something I have a bone to pick with.
Yeah.
Because I go to CS, and even though it's been years since I've played seriously, my AK spray is immaculate. I go to Valorant, dude, the spray changes every single time I fire the gun. Like, you can't control that.
And I mean, that's that's what we come back to every time we talk about Valorant, right? Is how similar it is to CS and whether we think the differences go in the favor of one game or another.
Yeah.
When it comes to that horizontal inaccuracy, I 100% agree. I really prefer the way that they did in CS. One thing that I will mention, though, that is regarding these changes and the difference to CS is that you'll see this a lot in CS where people will crouch almost every time they spray, right? You might not crouch for the first few bullets, and then you'll crouch after the fourth or fifth.
If you commit, I'm crouching,
With these kind of values, I don't know that is necessarily going to be the case here. With how much they've upped the inaccuracy for crouching, do you think that people are still going to be going for that?
Moving, actually. So
it is crouch moving. You're right.
Moving. You have to be, crab walking to get.
Okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're
Um,
right. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know. There has been something that I've been hearing a lot, which has to do with crouching in this game. Some people say that you shouldn't crouch at all. I mean, it's been a
Really?
huge habit for me to crouch while I'm controlling my recoil. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, the argument is that if you crouch, you're not able to pop back up and move.
That's
But
true.
also, if I miss my spray, I'm dead anyways. So I don't know how much of a difference it ends up making.
It'd be interesting to see for sure how these values compare to the raw like standing accuracy and the crouching accuracy. Because if the crouch moving is now as inaccurate as walking was
Walking.
before, it feels to me at least instinctively that crouch moving is not really viable.
Yeah, I don't think so. You're just going way too slow for it to matter anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, from the
Yeah.
raw numbers, it's kind of insane to think that crouching while moving was so accurate, relatively.
Honestly, yeah. Like before, it was kind of crazy. Like if it's 0.3, assuming that crouching and standing are scaled similarly, then what is standing like 0.2 and crouching is 0.1?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can't go much lower than that. So anyway, that pretty much covers the patch notes, right?
I mean, there's not much to talk about other than if you want to talk about the rank convergence thing, which is basically if you're doing really well, you're just gonna get more points in your MMR. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
It's a
that's
quality
that.
of life improvement.
I guess
I could
so.
blame me getting hard stuck in some rank on that, but that's just 'cause
No,
I'm
I'm
bad.
too bad to ever actually notice that MMR increase. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get my 20 because I'm bottom fragging and leave.
I will say though, like if we look at the updates that they've been pushing out recently, this one included, specifically regarding those ranking changes, I think a lot of people are pretty upset with how the rankings have turned out this episode so far, right? With the big reset,
Yeah.
especially with a lot of people
I
getting
was
stuck in plat.
Reset, so I was reset like to the moon.
Yeah, it was rough.
actually, yeah, the other way around.
To China. Yeah, I can't say that. Stream's gone. Stream's gone. Stream's gone.
And you, yeah, and you got it.
Stream's gone.
Don't worry,
Listen,
don't
you'll protect us. It's fine. It's fine. You'll
It's
protect
okay.
us. Yeah.
done
Just
for
call
it.
up your
All right.
uncle. It's fine.
It's
No,
all right.
but so,
That's
but
funny
no,
because
I don't.
I'm part Chinese. Anyways,
I think
with,
this is good.
with the rank convergence. Yeah, I think it's better. Hopefully, I'll be able to get out of where I'm stuck right now because I was reset super hard when it came to this episode. Like I was sent back to silver too, dude. I went straight to the shadow realm, completely
Yeah,
straight to
gone.
the shadow realm, and now I'm just hopping around in gold. Yeah, it is what it is. If I ever
We'll
become
see.
a plat again, it'll be in next season where they actually fix the rank system.
I'm glad that
Um,
Riot isn't hard stuck on their idea of trying to push these ranks lower like they did this episode, though. I'm glad that they're
Yeah.
willing to make these changes.
At least they're making changes. And
Yeah.
as far as rank goes, not sure it matters too much. I solo queue
No.
most of my games, so it's like I get 4 teammates and then I have to end up carrying. So and I
Yeah.
play Killjoy. Ugh.
Well, yeah, Killjoy, but that's also something else to talk about. Something that just specifically while we're still on the topic of these changes, I always found it weird how you could have. I mean, you would lose the game like 13-11, but the guy who dropped 30 on your team at the start at least would be getting the same RMR as everybody else, and it would be like and at the start my mentality about that was, oh, that's a cool approach from Riot. That means that they're incentivizing more team play, and it's not just about the individual skill. But the more that I played and the more that happened to me where I was the
Yeah.
guy dropping 30, it would be like, well, this sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that frustration all the time where I have to end up entry fragging as Killjoy. It was this Phoenix flashing himself every time he tries to pull one out through the corner. It
Yeah.
gets frustrating. You just get stuck because your teammates are, let's just say, below average competence.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they've changed that so that it's a bit more top heavy, I guess. You get more RMR if you play better. And I also think that we're just in a really weird scenario right now in Valorant where we still have a lot of those high rank players and those low ranks. And by low ranks, I mean like golds to plats to diamonds. Like that
Yeah,
whole
I hope
plat
I'm
like
one of
mess
them.
down there.
Hope I'm one of them. Gabe.
Yeah,
I
you were
don't think I
X-rated.
am, but I really hope so.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think even with just time, that'll get better. But I like these updates too.
Yeah, gotcha. Piestream in the chat saying Killjoy is the best duelist. That is absolutely true. Let me tell you about Killjoy grenades. Every time you get a kill with one of those things, it's hilarious. I mean, it's more hilarious with the turret because at that point, it's embarrassing. You literally
Yeah.
got killed by a bot that does like 6 damage.
I have unfortunately had that happen to me a couple times, but like, what can you do?
Those turret kills are just satisfying every
Yeah.
single time. It's just the chip damage. It's like death from 1,000 paper cuts.
That's funny. And I think so. Okay, so while we're on the topic of Killjoy, do you think now we've gotten to the point where we can basically say that this puts the Sentinel conversation to rest? Like, is Killjoy just undoubtedly now, like, the best Sentinel?
I gotta say, now that I've been playing Killjoy pretty much every single game of Valo, I could not go back to Cypher. Not even close. Not at all. And I'll tell you why. A lot of Cypher's kit is relatively passive. Like, you have tripwires, those just sit there and they get activated when they get activated, right?
Right.
You got his cages, which you can activate yourself, and you can do some nice one ways with them. And you can also use them to cross sight lines and whatnot. And of course, you got his camera, which is used for information. But I don't think you can play Cypher as offensively as you can with Killjoy's kit. You can use her turret in an offensive capacity, doing some chip damage as you're trying to retake a site, or even to watch your own flank. And her alarm bot is also for that flank stuff. And with her mollies, just her grenades, probably the best part of her kits. You can use them for pretty much anything, clearing out corners, denying bomb plants or diffuses.
Right.
I just think her kit is more versatile, and it lends her to a more versatile style of play.
I definitely agree.
Also, Sage good. Sage is good too.
Sage is pretty good. So is Sage better than Cypher now too? I would say so.
I would say so. I think Cypher has to sit at the bottom of the list, unless you're playing in a very specific manner. Apparently, in a manner that I haven't found out yet. But I mean, nothing has really worked for me with Cypher, and that's kind of why I made the plunge to Killjoy. When it comes to Sage, I think that like tons of changes that Riot has made to Sage, I think finally it sits in a happy medium. Before, Sage was just a must pick. Like, if you didn't have a Sage, you were throwing the game. Yeah. And then it became, all right, Sage is completely useless. Like, if you choose Sage, you're throwing. And now it's more like, okay, Sage is a comparable choice. Like, she makes sense in a lot of situations. Her wall isn't completely broken, but also not completely useless. Her slow orbs have always been pretty good part of her kit, and of course the heal, indispensable part of her, and the ults, probably one of the better ones in the game if you have good teammates.
For sure. And that now that we're on the topic of sort of balancing these Sentinels, there's actually something that I've now thought about that's actually somewhat worrying. I think part of the reason why because Cypher didn't really get nerfed into oblivion, I mean, he got quite nerfed with the range on his tripwires, but it didn't totally change how you play Cypher. Sage kind of got nerfed into oblivion for a while. They didn't do the same to Cypher, and yet people aren't playing him anymore. So I think the reason why he was so good at the start was because nobody knew where to look for the tripwires. They were totally disorienting. You didn't have that muscle memory to flick over and break them, right? But then people kind of got used to it. He got nerfed a little bit. You're like, oh, okay, let's go to Killjoy. So do you think that we're going to see a situation where the same sort of happens to Killjoy? People start getting used to where those nades are being placed, where those alarm bots are being placed, and it's just not as threatening anymore?
I don't know. It's kind of been a long time, and Killjoy's been part of the game for a while now. I mean, it seems like Killjoy is still just as effective. I think with Cypher, Cypher can be a good pick, but it really depends how you play Cypher.
Okay.
Like, you need to know all those really tricky tripwire spots, and you have to change them up constantly.
Because on paper, he still looks good.
Yeah, on paper, Cypher is still a good choice, but he doesn't really fit my playstyle anymore. And I still actually have seen a lot of Cypher in higher level games. I guess it's just the way that people play, and I prefer to play a more Killjoy style of play than Cypher, I think.
Right. So, okay. So I think I'd characterize Cypher at this point then as he's not bad. It's just that the other characters that play the same role are slightly better. Yeah.
And I think they're more versatile. Then, get every Cypher main coming into the chat and telling me how I'm super wrong about that. Which is
good. Don't worry. We'll hear about it for sure.
Maybe all I need to do is play a little more Cypher and unrated, maybe transition to playing him into comp, and then I'll understand Cypher again. Who knows?
I'd love that. I would love to see people back on Cypher.
Have you played Cypher? Have you?
Well, back in the beta, I played him a little bit. I honestly found him so easy. I found him really easy, but I didn't feel like I had the depth with that character. Like, I felt like there was sort of a cap there with what you could do with your stuff. It's like what you said. You can know all these different spots. You can rotate your abilities around, but it didn't feel as useful to me. The one thing that I think really brought Cypher into the main spotlight, where people were like, "Wow, this guy's broken," were one ways and stuff that you could do with the cages, not necessarily the tripwires, and like these crazy spots where you could throw your camera up and nobody would ever see it. It was stuff that was almost unintentional with how you were supposed to play Cypher, and definitely not how I was playing him with these one ways or these long camera angles. So I guess that's why he was never really appealing to me, was because when I played him, those weren't really around, and that's not how I thought of the character. Yeah. If you play, or the agent rather, if you play him like that, I can definitely see how he can still be useful, especially if you have a masterful Cypher that knows every single one of those angles.
My brain is too small for that.
It's just not my playstyle. Yeah, I'm not about that.
I mean, let's see. I'm trying to think of anything with Cypher.
I think he's pretty much gone, mate. Like, it's just
I don't know. Have you encountered a lot of Cyphers in your games?
I still see him occasionally, but I feel like every time
more or less prevalent than Killjoy.
Less. I definitely say less.
Gotcha.
I don't know necessarily that the average skill of the Cyphers is any lower than the average skill of the Killjoys, but I do feel like every time I come across a Cypher, if he just destroys me, it's through aim, it's not through outplays anymore.
Yeah.
Like, people just wait. Like, they see a cage come up, all right, it's fine. I'll just push 5 seconds later and shoot you. Or they see a tripwire. It's like, all right, time to shock dart that exact same spot for the rest of the game. Yeah. It feels like it's been hard countered at this point.
Yeah, I see where you're going. And I'm personally not going to pick up Cypher anytime soon. I just think that Killjoy's kit is the bee's knees.
I can dig Sage, though. I can dig Sage.
Sage is good pick still.
I can even dig Sage and Killjoy.
Yeah, I have Dari picking Sage on bind, actually. Really That's great solid. for pushing down like really quick rushes. If you know they're getting there, slow orbs, and then, you know, your wall if you need them.
For sure.
If you need that.
There's a lot you can do with her on bind.
Yeah, and I really think that the other Sentinels are more are better at stopping quick rushes than Cypher. Like, I mean, he has his tripwires in his cages, but if they're all going through at the same time, you're going to have to be really good with your aim to take them all down. Like, you might catch them off with some of the one ways, some of the trips, but I mean, if there's 5 of them and then one of you, there's not much you can do.
I agree. And I guess just to wrap up this whole discussion about the Sentinels, since we haven't talked about Sage much, I have a question for you. I've always found Sage's wall to not be nearly as useful as people make it out to be. I'll give you an example, right? Take Split, for example. People, it just became such a common thing. Like, oh, you have a Sage, obviously she's going to go wall off mid, right? That was like the go-to Sage. And I feel like every time I play Split on offense against a Sage on defense, right? The instant wall comes up and the instant shred comes through. Her wall does not last longer than 5 seconds into every round because we destroy it immediately to gain mid control. So it almost feels to me like the wall conceptually seemed really broken. And on paper, it was for a little bit before people realized, wait, we can just like destroy it immediately and then not have to deal with it. Yeah. And now it's just not anymore. So do you think that it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be? I like it for movement, for example, to get you up to places and stuff.
Very good for positioning and offense. Yeah. I will say something about the wall. I think a lot of Sages are using it the wrong way. Like, they're using it too immediately. That's why I'm never a fan of the insta wall mid. Like, first of all, you lost 400 credits, where the team might not even go mid, first of all. You lost 400 credits, and you could have used it somewhere else. It's all about timing. You need to get that wall up before, like, just before the team gets there so that it has a time to solidify. And if you waste it at the beginning of the rounds, now you have fewer options for the rest of that match, or rather the rest of that game.
You know what I'd love to see? I would love to see Sage getting played the way that we've just described Cypher. You know, all these different spots where you can put up your wall, and you know that it's useful. You know these little gap angles that you can get past your wall in certain places, and you switch sites almost like every round. And you just put your wall up in different places so they never know where they'll have to go to shred that wall and where there will be that resistance. Yeah. That would actually be really interesting. Some sort of rotator play like that. That could be a way to revive the character.
Big brain. If you had a great read on the enemy team, you can get a Sage to rotate really quickly, get that wall up just in time to stop them from rushing. Hey, it could be powerful. It would buy you enough time, perhaps, to outplay them on defense.
Definitely interesting. You know what else is definitely
on offense? You know, you can use it to cut off if you know they're gonna try to flank you. It's
That's interesting.
very risky. But you could
Definitely
wall that
risky.
back.
But it's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, people. I think you're spot on when you say that people are using the Sage walls too early. I think into late
you have
round
to
they
save
can
them.
be as useful, if not more.
Yeah, you need to save those things for late round. I think the order that you should dispel your utility is use your slow orbs first. They're less expensive, you know. They won't cost you too much if you need to buy them again, and then use your wall when you need it.
Yeah, I'd love to
yeah.
see most of Sage's stuff be used late rounds, honestly. So
I think so too.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got some questions in the chat if you want to take a look.
sure, yeah. The dream combo / team of agents, in my opinion.
In overall strongest offense and defense combination. Is this one for you map dependent? Because I think in certain cases it just kind of becomes map dependent. But there is a general core team that works.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say there's a general formula for it, right? In terms of like roles. So you're gonna need your one smoke character. I think at
definitely
that
a
point,
controller, a
I think at
Sentinel.
that point it's probably arguable that Brim is the best one now, and Jet doesn't fit that role.
Yeah. Brim, I really like playing Brim. I haven't played a lot of Omen simply because
Right.
I can never figure out how to use the smoke menu.
I've used Omen a lot. So
Are you still playing Omen or have you switched to Brim here?
I'm still playing Omen for now. I don't know how long that'll last at this point. I like him. I never played.
Yeah.
The difference is that you don't necessarily have to play Omen the way that people play Brim, and I don't. I don't play Omen as a pure smoke character. I play Omen almost the way that we just described Sage. I lurk around. I throw the smoke at the right moment when I know they're pushing, not to like preemptively stop a push necessarily. I use it
Just set
when I
yourself
feel
up.
like I have to. Yeah, and then I use the TPs for positioning. So it's almost somewhere between a controller and a duelist kind of style.
I think
so,
that Omen has the most versatile kits of all the agents, and he lends
Maybe,
himself
yeah.
to the most I don't know how to describe balanced play style, or rather a play style that's the most versatile.
Yeah, I could see that.
With Brim, I think he's a little more defense heavy. With Omen, I think you're more prone to being able to push positions and put pressure on the enemy.
I
With
agree.
Brim, it seems like you're either flushing them out or you're just trying to push them back.
Yeah, and as we've just highlighted, I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made both ways for now still, right? I mean,
I think they're both great. Omen is still as good. He's just a little more expensive, and Brim is better and cheaper.
I would say as a rule of thumb, if you just need a smoke character and that's his job is to throw down the smokes, I'd say Brim is better at this point. You can definitely make an argument for Omen, and depending on your roles and what he's going to be doing though. So let's say, okay, so let's slot Brim in there for now. We can change that later if we want. I think okay, yeah. So back to the template idea. I think you need your controller, which is your smoke guy. You don't need a Sentinel, but I would still like a Sentinel, I think.
Yeah.
And then you've got probably 2 or 3 duelists.
Yeah, 2 or 3 duelists, or 2 duelists and initiator, which is my team's combo.
Yeah, 2 and an initiator is good, but you can also do 3 duelists if you really want to.
So I think my team is pretty close to the dream team combo, which is controller. Like, this is the B team. It's a controller, which is typically an Omen, and then Sentinel, which is typically me. We have 1 duelist and then 2 initiators.
Okay.
But though honestly, I would swap out one of those initiators with a duelist.
Yeah. That's not the end of the world either. It's just not as good.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I mean, Piestream just ends up playing Breach like a duelist and just bullying kids by flashing them constantly and then pushing them. So
yeah,
there's our honorary duelist there.
So give us your agents then. Your top 5.
Oh, agents, like actual top agents
straight up
to use in a team. Yeah, definitely Killjoy for Sentinel.
Okay.
If you had the choice between Killjoy or Sage, I'd probably pick Killjoy, I think.
It depends on the rest of the lineup, but yeah, I'd say so.
Depends on the rest of the lineup. Definitely Killjoy. If you wanted another Sentinel, like on some maps, double Sentinel is pretty good. Like Binds, double Sentinel is pretty cool.
You could make an argument on Icebox too.
Sorry, Icebox, double Sentinel. Yeah, so we would do Sage. If not a Sage, then I guess I don't know here. I'm thinking of all the duelists that we could slot in.
So I'll tell you my top 5 then while you're thinking then.
Yeah, I don't really have like.
I think my top 5 is probably. I mean, yeah. Again, it's super map dependent. But I think the one thing that changes everything, I guess there's two aspects that are super map dependent that change the entire roster, which is, do you need a Sova? For maps like Haven, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, do you want double Sentinel? Where for maps like Icebox or something else, maybe Bind, you can make an
something
argument.
like you could only play these 5 agents across all the maps. Like, let's say there's a tournament where it's like, these are the agents you're locked into.
Then I would not play double Sentinel, nor would I play Sova, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe I would play Sova. Okay, let me just say. Okay, so across all the maps, I would say Brim, Breach, Killjoy. Brim, Breach, Killjoy. And now I need my duelists.
Duelists, yeah.
I think Reyna.
Reyna, yeah.
I think Reyna. And then I almost want to say Yoru.
Interesting, yeah. Hey, the backstab potential, the lurk potential on Yoru is pretty nice.
I kind of want to say no, Jet. No, sorry. Okay, it's either Yoru and Jet or Jet and Reyna.
Gotcha. I think I've collected my thoughts now.
Okay.
My team comp is relatively similar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna go with Killjoy here. Brim for smokes, though I wouldn't mind having an Omen either, since he's a little more versatile.
Right.
I would go for Arena and a Jet.
Yeah.
For duelists, and that leaves with one more, right?
Yeah. So far we're the same.
Typically,
you haven't said Breach yet.
Typically, either Breach or Sova.
Okay.
I'm low-key thinking, I low-key kind of like Sova more, for information and his ult.
What are your flashes then?
His ult is also good then. Yeah, I mean,
you gonna rely on Reyna flashes?
I don't know if I want to do that. That's a little.
You could swap out your Reyna for a Phoenix or something.
Yeah, I don't know about Phoenix.
Not a huge Phoenix fan.
He's pretty versatile duelist, I think. His flashes are all right. You know what? Keep the Breach. Maybe, yeah. Dude, just do the B team lineup. Honestly, I'm trying to stretch it. Just do the B team lineup. It's literally perfect. You have a Jet for the frags. You have Killjoy to lock down sites. You got the Sova for info, Breach for flashes, and then you have either a Brim or an Omen for smokes. Low key. Or you could swap out one of them with a Sky for like
That's
the Sova Breach combo. That would be hilarious.
Ooh.
So instead of running a Breach, I would run a Sky. That would be my. And then have a Sova instead of like a Jet or a Reyna.
I don't know if I trust a Sky player yet.
You don't trust. Have you heard of the big brain stuff that Sky's?
I've seen it all, but I don't think I
Battle Sky.
I guess this is assuming that everybody who's playing is good at their role, right? So yeah, a good Sky is good. I just haven't met many of those yet.
No,
so.
I don't really see many Skies unless they're trolling or they're me.
Yeah,
and trolling.
Yeah. And you know what? While we're at it, do we want to do the link that we pulled up earlier? Yeah.
Agent tier list.
We could.
Come on.
All right, let's do it.
That'll be great.
Let's do an agent tier list.
All right. Definitely pull that stuff up. I'll wait for you.
I got it. No, I'm ready, man. On point.
All right. Let's watch this stuff right on stream. So does this include the beta character? Sorry, Yoru? It does.
So this is just missing Yoru, but I'll take a screenshot of whatever we get, and then I'll write in Yoru when we decide.
S through D tier. I'm going to see. Okay,
let's go from left to right here.
I think it's better if we. Yeah. So Viper. I think. Yeah, D tier.
Okay.
D tier. Could you make an argument for her being higher? I
think so. I think Viper is underrated right now. I think the agent itself is pretty powerful. It's just that we don't have that many good Viper players yet. I would kind of want to put her in B, actually.
Really?
Maybe like bottom end of B or high end of C. Bottom end of B or high end of C.
Dude. That is.
Okay, why don't we put her in C for now, and we'll get back to it then.
Let's see if I change my mind. So we'll put her in C.
We'll get back to it for now.
All right.
Or later.
Killjoy. Ooh, I mean, I play Killjoy, so there's clearly a party bias here.
I don't think she's S tier. Okay, the way that I define S tier is like basically a must pick.
Indispensable. I think you could do without a Killjoy.
I think so.
If you tried. Like
I'd put her in A.
I'd put her in A at least.
But A.
Yeah. I think her ult is great. Her utility is great. I can't say anything bad about her.
I agree.
Raze, interesting. Raze. I hate Raze players, so automatically D. Nah, just kidding.
I think a good Raze player is among the best players in the game.
A good Raze player is a good Raze player because every single part of her kit does damage, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think as an agent it's
As an agent,
necessarily as
necessarily
good. I'd put it in B, I think.
B tier. So now we have
Yeah.
Sage. Interesting. You don't see too many sages out in the wild anymore, but
No, they're mostly in captivity.
they're mostly kept in the zoo.
uh,
I'd say, I mean, let's just say, I mean, any agent is good with a good player, lol.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't think she's as good as some of the other raw kits
No.
that other agents have, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. Breach. I think Breach's kit is amazing.
I think he's absurd. Honestly, I think he's S tier.
Absurdly good. I think he's the best. Yeah.
He might be the
definitely
best
an S
agent
tier.
in the game, I think.
Um,
I think Breach is really good.
Brim. Let's see. This guy. I mean, I play a lot of Brim if I'm not playing Killjoy. Brim has what? Smokes, his stim beacons finally don't take forever to pull out. He's got a molly and a decent ult.
Would you say he's as good as Killjoy?
I almost want to put him in A here.
I kind of want to put him in A too, to be honest.
I think he's a really good choice, regardless of team. Like,
I think so too. Well, so here's the question then. If we're gonna put him in A, then I think we also have to put Omen in A.
yeah, I think both of them are viable choices. I don't think you can make. I mean, it just all depends how you play. Like, a good Brim
Right.
player is not necessarily going to be a good Omen player, and same the other way around.
That's true.
But they fulfill a very similar role. But I think Omen's a little more versatile.
Yeah, I think
albeit
Omen's
more
better.
expensive. Albeit more expensive. Okay,
Wait,
Reyna.
is going towards the left, is that better, or going towards
Left
the right?
is better.
Left is better. Okay, yeah. So I would put Omen before Brim, but not before Killjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Reyna. Reyna's whole shtick is getting kills.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She is kind of busted though, if you
If
know
you're
how to use it.
good,
Yeah.
If you're good, you're good.
Yeah. I think she's. I think she's
put her-
definitely better than Raze.
Yeah.
So maybe
think
high B or low A.
I think it's a high B for me here.
Okay. You think so? Okay.
Yeah. Sova. Ooh, a good Sova's a good Sova though. But
I don't think his kit is as
I don't
good.
know if yeah. I think his kit is more situational here. Very map dependent as well. There's some things you can do more on some
super
maps.
map dependent. That's a great point.
I mean, if this is like across all maps, this is the only agent that you're ever gonna pick. I gotta put him high C or low B. I'm leaning more high C here.
I kind of want to put him high C
that
together with the other agents that can only be used on certain maps.
Yeah.
If it'll let me.
I
There
think
we
if
go.
we're talking about overall versatility,
Right.
and like balance, that's how we're gonna have to rank this. Okay, so Phoenix, let's see what he has. He's got flashes, he's got a wall that doubles as a healing, and a molly that doubles as healing. His kit is
He's not
pretty
bad.
good. It's not bad, but I don't know.
Honestly,
know
I think
about
I'd take
Phoenix.
all of these in C over a Phoenix.
I don't think I'd really, yeah.
Maybe like a
Looking at the
low
rest-
C or a D.
Yeah, low C. Above or below Viper though.
I think Viper's better than Phoenix, honestly.
That is very interesting.
I
And now
do.
Jet. Jet is a great offer.
Jet's goated.
But let's see. What
I
does
love
she
Jet.
lack? I mean, a lot of movement potential and
Yep.
smokes.
Jet.
And
Okay, so here's my argument for Jet, right?
Yeah, minus her ult, I think she's pretty good.
I think Jet's raw kit isn't as good as some other ones. Like, it doesn't seem like at face value
Yeah.
it's that good. But the way that people use her is crazy. First of all, you can get away
think
with
so,
with anything, especially op shots. So if you have a good op or a good Jet that's opping, that's nuts. There's almost nothing as powerful as that in the game, I don't think.
Yeah.
And second of all, you can have crazy entry potential with Jet, where you can get certain
Absolutely.
timings that are not possible elsewhere.
You're
So,
right.
Surely for the fact that she can do things that logistically no other agent can do, I think that makes her pretty great.
I think so. Yeah. I think once she is, I think this is really funny because War Owl is like, Jet is the worst character in the game during
I
beta.
disagree.
But I completely disagree.
Yeah.
Like Jet is actually pretty good if you know how to use Jet, and you definitely
agree.
have to be playing with your team here. So I'm
Kind
gonna put her.
of. Do you think A or S?
I don't know. I almost want to put her in S,
I kind of think she's really good. Well, the thing is,
But
like,
I don't know if that's putting Jet too much credit for Jet here. Do you think it is? Twitch
maybe.
chat, want to weigh in on this one? I don't know, dude. I mean, in the meantime, we can always move on to Cypher.
Yeah, we only have one more.
I mean, he has to go in the D slot. I'm sorry, Cypher. I'm sorry, dude.
Cypher's just not as good, mate.
I'm
Like,
sorry, dude.
It's gotta happen. So okay,
I
so
like Cypher. I mean, playing him was fun, but
yeah,
I don't know.
he's just not that good anymore, mate. Like, I'd rather have all of these over a Cypher.
But also, you know, people are still picking Cypher in high level play, so we can be
Yeah.
speaking out of our butts right now.
So here's my question then, right? Do we think... Okay, so pre-nerf, I think Omen was S tier.
Yeah, Omen was definitely up there. Like,
Do we think that he's still S tier?
Now that Paranoia is more expensive and his whatchamacallits, his smokes are slower.
Because we have agreed that he's like basically a Brim but more versatile, which kind of makes him special. Like, there's no real other agent like him.
I see.
So it's interesting.
I don't know, dude. Maybe if not lower S, higher A.
I would say he's maybe better than Killjoy.
I think if you were to have an agent to pick and you could only choose one of the two, I would pick an Omen over a Killjoy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. This looks kind of right for me. Now I'm looking at Raze and I'm like, really? Is Raze so middle of the pack?
I mean, is Raze even that good, lol?
Because there's a bit of, I feel like there's a bit of a gap here between C and B. Like, all of these 5 down here are a lot worse than Raze, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see.
So I don't know.
I mean, you are how you use your characters. You know what?
That's true. You are
I mean,
what you
all
eat,
these
yeah.
characters could easily be S tier, depending on how amazing you are at them.
Except
how
for
much you
Cypher.
master them. Damn, Cypher players really got wrecked there.
Nah, you might be able to make it to B if you're a good Cypher player. Maybe A if you're Radiant. No
Yeah,
S.
Cypher mains are gonna be mad.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. And then we're only missing one. I'm gonna have to, crap, I'm gonna have to boot up paint.net for this. Here we go.
And we need a Yoru, don't we?
Yeah, where do we think Yoru fits in on this?
Jeez, dude. I haven't seen many Yorus out in the wild, and I haven't seen him in our leagues because he's banned. But
Well, he's actually not banned anymore, but we still haven't really gotten to play against him.
We haven't gotten to playoffs yet, so
Yeah, no.
I can't really say. On paper, he seems like he would be really, really good. Like one of the better duelists out there.
Well, that's not gonna work.
I mean,
Anyway.
with a good Yoru, maybe a lower A. I don't know.
All right, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to draw on
Or
this, but
higher
anyway.
B.
Yeah, we'll just look at it. I would say... I'd say he's probably B.
Like a higher B.
So do we think... I don't think he's better than
Is
Raze.
he better than Reyna? Is he really better than Raze? I don't know.
I don't think he's better than Raze or Reyna. Well, I don't know. That's true. He might be.
I haven't seen enough of Yoru, honestly, to make a call.
Yeah. I think he's going to get found out real quick, though. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think people were kind of hyped about him at the start, but he's not going to be
Yeah,
that
thinking
good
he's
anymore.
broken, but nah, now he's just annoying.
He's just annoying. I'd say he's lower B, though. I think he's better than the
Gotcha.
C's.
So if you look at this, this is basically the S and A is basically B team comp minus Arsova. So
Okay.
funny how that worked out, lol.
Honestly,
yeah.
yeah, we're kind of missing a lot here on the A team.
Oh,
I don't
also
know.
Sky, right? We completely forgot about Sky.
Oh, yeah, Sky is... I guess that shows you where she's going to go.
Low
Since we can't even
key,
remember her.
I don't know. I, mean,
I think
in
she's C.
higher level play, she's considered not great.
Yeah, I don't think she
she's fun to
scales very
troll.
well.
She's either very low C or high D.
Yeah, I think I'd put her at low C. Yeah.
Oh well. Now I guess that's the word of God. Now you have to.
It's
accept
done.
It.
Yeah.
This turned into a Cypher smear campaign, real quick. That says. Look, here's the thing. I love Cypher. I played a lot of Cypher, but I realized that playing Cypher was probably a detriment to my own, like basically how I approach the game.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Quantum says Phillip is not loyal. Literally played Cypher for half his matches and does that. I mean, I did. For half of CSL, I was Cypher, must play Cypher. Then I just, after break, dude, not a lick of Cypher.
Listen, you saw me,
Joy.
Quantum. I got my boy Omen over to top of A. I almost got him into S. I tried, okay?
Yeah.
I tried.
Here's the thing. I think, okay, Gabe actually was talking to me about this a lot earlier. He saw the writing on the wall. He's like, bro, the way you play Cypher is literally not going to help you get better at the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? Maybe this man is right. I switched to Killjoy. Bro, I'm actually carrying kids. Like, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I think Cypher, that entire play style of Cypher worked fine in beta because people had no clue what they were doing. It doesn't anymore because it's just easy to
people
counter.
started playing the game, you know, like
Yeah.
it got harder for me to play Cypher.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not very good at playing Cypher. So there's the skill cap, you know.
Yeah. I don't love the agent though. I don't think it's just your fault or Cypher players' fault. I think it's got some
Can't
problems.
wait for Riot to buff it. Now you get 4 tripwires and 3 cages.
Honestly, would that be unreasonable? I think so, right?
That would be hilarious.
I think that might make him broken if they did that.
Yeah, imagine. Okay, so when I see a Cypher player, I instinctively, because I used to play Cypher, if I'm entering a site, I shoot all the common like tripwire spots, and I'm like, one of these better not tag me. Like most of the time, unless your timing is good as a Cypher, like the tripwire is a mild inconvenience, or if you know the players are literal garbage. Because if you're rushing in there with a team and your team has half a brain, if somebody gets caught by a wire, it's done. You know, instantly
gone.
just
especially if
you
you have a jet, then it doesn't even have a chance.
just dash right through.
Yeah.
I mean, or raise like blast pack. Boom,
Yeah.
it's gone. Or Sova dart. Like I mean, all
There's
this
just so
here
much you can do.
so easy to counter, and I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
If you made, how would you feel about making his tripwires immune to dashes, jet dashes?
Oh, dude,
Like it catches the jet, it makes her stop her dash.
That might actually make Cypher a little like we would actually climb. He would
because we
climb
just
up.
now there's a
climb, bro.
direct counter to an agent that we just put in S tier.
You know what? That would actually make Cypher climb so high up. In my book, that would almost make him A tier if you know the other team
At
plays with
least.
the jet.
Yeah,
That would make him.
honestly,
Dude,
yeah.
even
I
such
think
a small change, making an agent overpowered. Come on, that's hilarious.
yeah, Pystrom's bringing it up. That's how it was in beta. Absolutely. I think, but that's the other thing though, Pystrom. In beta, people didn't play Jet, I don't think, as much as they do now. Like people sort of did but they didn't play her the way that they do now. People just use Jet in this sort of selfish fashion of like, I'm going to use it so I can move around faster. People didn't really use it as this entry style, this opping style. If you could counter that with tripwires, it'd be kind of nuts.
It would be slightly broken, and now you're gonna have to see is teams are gonna have to rely on their other counterparts like a Sova or a Raze to get rid of those trips, and then initiate off of that, which buys a little bit of time for defenders.
I don't know
And
if
it
I
makes
like the
Cypher-
idea though.
I mean,
It would be super interesting, but I don't know
if
if I like
anybody
it.
at Riot Games is listening,
Honestly, I think it would ruin Jet because I like
Yeah.
where Jet is heading right now, where she's starting to play this entry style. We didn't really like everybody thought that's what Phoenix was going to be, right? Like everybody runs in behind Phoenix, and for a long time he was that, especially with his ult. He still kind of is with his ult, but now it's just like it's Jet and Raze blast packing. That's like the entry
those
style now.
quick entry styles, you know.
Yeah.
where
So
it's
if you nerfed
immediate.
Jet, like
Hey, I don't know. How would Jet players feel about this? Probably terrible. How would Cypher players feel about
Probably
this?
great.
Probably awesome. Probably
Yeah.
awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
finally, their character is relevant.
yeah, I
How
think it
did
would
we
just.
talk so long about these agents.
I don't know. It would just bring like a way slower play style to Valorant. I think. I don't know how I feel about that.
Is that what you want? Do you want to
No.
go back to 2015? No.
I don't. I'm over it. I honestly, okay. Either give me a way to use proper utility in this game like there is in Counter-Strike, or just let me rush in and do my thing. That's how I feel. If we're not going to have proper util, okay, give me, you know what? This would make the game so much better for me. This is something I brought up with my friend Dylan the other day. He and I were talking, we were actually watching the Blast Counter-Strike tournament that was going on recently.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this interesting thing that happened where this team, I think it was Evil Geniuses versus G2. I think EG pushed up,
EG.
maybe it was Vertigo or something, mid really quick. They got these forward positions and they played this really masterful style where after they pushed up on attack within like 20 seconds of the round, they just sat there. They didn't overcommit. They picked angles and they held them, and G2, desperate for information or rotations, walked into them one by one, and they picked them out all across the map because they had these advantageous positions. And I was talking to Dylan, I was like, wow, I love that about Counter-Strike. We should try to do that on the Valorant team. And then I kept thinking, I was like, well, that's not possible. I would just get like reconned or naded or some other stupid thing would find me. The utility in this game just doesn't allow that kind of play style. You have to be proactive all the time, or the utility will just wreck you. If they know where you are, you're going to get mollied, you're going to get naded, you're going to get reconned, you're going to get spammed. Somebody's going to teleport behind you, nothing personnel kid. Like, it just feels like you can't play that kind of style. So either, I feel like the one thing that might be able to change that in this game, maybe if you made it so there was a way to counter smokes and mollies. In CS, you can't really counter smokes.
You can counter
but you can counter
though.
mollies with the smokes.
Yes.
I hate that about this game. If somebody mollies you off, there's nothing you can do. You can teleport or dash if you're capable of that. Most people aren't. So you just have to sit there and wait. And wait, and wait, and wait.
It makes mollies very powerful.
It's absurd. And I think people haven't found how to use them yet. Like, people haven't held their mollies until the last 30 seconds and then mollied off a choke point, and now they just cannot go there. So, I don't know. I don't love the way that utility plays in this game. And that's why I think we have to play this fast style, which is why I think Jet is instrumental.
Gotcha. Hey, we'll see where the game goes. Can't wait for them to make an update where it's like, all smokes negate all mollies.
That would be absurd. That would just make like that would just make Phoenix deep D tier, like deep D tier.
I mean, I hope Killjoy mollies aren't actually mollies.
Yeah, that would destroy the Killjoy mollies too.
They're nano swarm grenades. They're not Molotovs.
sorry, nano
There's
swarm.
no fire involved.
There's no fire.
There's no incendiary device. It's a nano swarm.
Well, same with the Vipers then. It would just be Phoenix and Brim.
And Brim.
That's
just
funny.
mollies. It doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't work. That's the problem. I hate how utility works in this game because it feels like some of it is just so powerful. Like, you can't do anything about a recon. You shoot it, they know you're there. You don't shoot it, they also know you're there.
That's why you gotta run away, lol.
Yeah, but then they know you're there too because you stepped. Like, I hate it.
Lol.
Just TP, yeah. Just TP,
stacking Yorus.
Sorry, I forgot to load my TP hacks going into that game. My bad.
Yeah, it's very interesting how shall we say utility? I don't know if that's the right word. Utility focused Valorant is. Like, in CS, everybody has the same kit, right? So you know everybody's tools. But with Valorant, I think it's becoming very important, what agents are on the field and knowing how to deal with every single one of them.
Almost kind of an Overwatch style in that way.
Oh no, we're comparing it to that game now.
I don't know enough about Overwatch to compare it, but I do know that like it's more like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a meme that Valorant is CS:GO Overwatch.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes for a very unique, different style of gameplay. As much as we want this game to be CS:GO, it isn't.
Yeah, unfortunately. Luckily, CS:GO is still around.
Yeah. I mean, if this game was CS, I don't think there's a chance in hell I'm playing it. Because of the people that CS attracts.
Yeah.
Tryhards. Face it level 10 who will instantly obliterate me.
That's a weird way to spell better than you.
Yeah. Oh.
Better than me too, to be fair.
Better than pretty much everyone,
Yeah.
Dude, video games.
I think the other stuff we wanted to talk about, it's almost like too late now. Like, we've been streaming for like 52 minutes. It's like too late to jump into the other stuff.
Bro,
now.
Just make the entire podcast like 2 hours and then we'll do the same thing. But like,
well, we can talk briefly about the league stuff. We can ignore like some of the other stuff we were going to talk about, just about the stuff going on with the leagues. So both the B team and the A team have recently joined some new leagues that we've been playing in. To wrap up the show, we'll discuss those. The A team, we joined the NACCS, the North American Collegiate Competitive Series, I think, which is partnered with Faceit. They run both Counter-Strike and Valorant leagues, and they have a total of 40K in prize pool, which is pretty massive. And the B team joined, is it CEA?
Yes, it's CEA, and I have no idea what it stands for. Collegiate Esports Association, yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a North American organization that's run by students for, these sorts of things.
Right. I mean, both the leagues are pretty cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it compared to CSL so far? You've played a couple matches, right?
I haven't played a match yet. Our first match is coming up this Friday at 9 p.m. We're playing against Hofstra University, and the entire thing is a Swiss style on the group stage over 6 weeks, and then you go into playoffs. And
That's
it looks
awesome.
like 44 teams have signed up for this league, so hopefully we have a chance. This was an open league with no buy-in required, meaning you just sign up, like you don't have to fork over any cash, which is going to be very interesting to see. And it looks like we do have some prizing for this one.
Right.
The minimum, let's see. So if you win, you're gonna get 5 Corsair's keyboards and about let's see, $1,600 in cash. And if you're the runner-up, you get 5 Corsair headsets and about $1,100 in cash. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's a nice little league. Maybe we should have done that instead.
Yeah, and then you just obliterate everyone, because
I don't know that
league, nobody
Daniil.
cares.
Us obliterate everyone. Daniil obliterate
Daniil,
everyone.
and then the rest of you folks.
Yeah, Daniil and company. No, but I think you brought up an interesting point, which we can just briefly talk about without getting into all the formats and stuff. The NACCS is also Swiss system, and I really like Swiss system over round robin or single, even double elim. For those that don't know, basically how Swiss system works is that it's a way to get you to a playoff stage, right? So it eliminates like half the teams. And what you do is you always play against teams with the same record as you. So for the first wave, you're all 0-0, picks random teams, or it's based on seeding. For these tournaments, it's probably random because we don't really know the skill of the teams involved. And then let's say you win your first match, now you're 1-0. You would play another team that's 1-0. And then if you lose that one, you're 1-1. You play another team that's 1-1. So you always play teams that are theoretically at a similar level to you. And none of the matches don't matter because once you get to a point where matches don't matter, you don't play any more matches. You're already qualified or you're already eliminated.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I really like the Swiss system here, and it incentivizes teams, first of all, trying their hardest every time because they know every match matters, and also getting matches that are actually not just complete wipeouts.
Yeah.
Which, over the time, your first game might be a wipe, like, you might completely wipe them out because it's random seeding, but as the Swiss system goes in, you're competing against teams that like are really more your caliber, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, and these are all BO1s for you as well, right? Because ours are BO1s.
These are BO3s.
Yours are all BO3s Swiss system?
Yeah, all BO3 Swiss.
Wow, your tournament must run for a while then.
Oh, dude. Let's see. When does
or
it
you have
end?
multiple matches a week or something.
March 19th. Yeah, so it's 6 weeks of Swiss with 1 match every week. And then we have playoffs, which last, let's see, until April, like end of April.
Because we only have 1 match every week too, but ours are only BO1s. So interesting how that's different.
Very interesting. How many teams are in your league right now?
I think around 65, 64.
Gotcha. So we have, let's see, 44. So it's
that changes something, but yeah.
6 weeks of Swiss, and then we have playoffs, which is so top 64, 32, 16, etc. I mean, we don't have 64 teams, so
that's true. That's true.
That's
and I guess
cut it down.
If I'm going to be advertising for the NACCS here, I do have to give a disclaimer. This is actually a leak. You heard it here first, folks. I have recently joined up with NACCS on their broadcast team. So you might see me, I'm either going to be running the back end for them with some of their streams, or you'll see me casting or hosting some of their desks there as well. So catch those streams live. Disclaimer, I do actually like Swiss System and the stuff that they're doing over there. It's not just because I have a vested interest.
So Gabe used a lot of words to say what I would describe as shilling.
Yes.
But,
yeah, pretty much.
But hey, whatever works for you. Get that bread, dude.
Listen, I don't get paid, all right? I just show up and I do some work.
You don't get paid. Don't worry. I know you're padding your resume like a...
What can you do?
That analogy. I don't want to...
You can't say the word. Yeah.
I can't say anything because then BU Gaming Club would disown
just gone.
Me, so.
Yeah. No, but for sure. But like actually though, I do think it's actually great that we're joining these other leagues though. And I love Swiss system. I really don't like round robin. So
yeah, this is going to be a lot more fun. And it's not going to feel like a pub stomp every game like CSL has kind of been. Like there's like 2 games which were like actually competitive. Like I felt like we were actually going to lose. Then everything else was kind of wipe out. But also I'm in the open league, so it's like
every game felt like we were actually going to lose.
I mean, well, here's the thing with the open league. It's like Iron 1 teams and then like everybody else who's good.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's different.
It hits different, dude. But now that we're in playoffs, I'm pretty sure we're gonna really be on the brink of elimination every single time we play a game. Which is exciting.
Unfortunately did not make playoffs. We got 4th. But there is a chance. Maybe if one of the teams drops out, we'll go through.
If they botch their verification for
there's a chance
at a college, there's a chance that one player just actually doesn't go to that university.
I mean, there is a chance. I mean, unlikely, but it's possible.
Small one, but a chance. Like kind of like how with Dream, there's a 1 in.
Oh my God,
7.5.
get out of here. Honestly, Dream's chance is higher than ours, but I'll take it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And then also just on the topic of tournaments before we wrap up here, I will also say, without giving too many specifics away, there is another tournament in the works that I am also involved in. Anybody that plays Collegiate Valorant in Boston, be on the lookout because you'll be hearing from us soon.
Oh my.
There's a tournament in the works.
No way, E-League. Oh my God.
A-League, PGL, ESL,
Oh my God.
DreamHack. Yeah.
What could it be, dude? Is it for Valorant?
It is for Valorant, yeah.
Is it for Valorant?
There's a
Boston?
There is a Boston-based tournament in the works.
Boston-based tournament. Is it Boston-only schools, or is it like a Boston area invitational?
It is Boston-only schools.
Okay.
16
Invitational?
teams, Swiss
16
system.
team.
I'm
Swiss
running the
system.
format. I'm helping run the production. I
Online
won't give
only, I
away
see.
too much. It's definitely not my project. I'm just helping out a certain
I could
individual from the B team,
speculate,
actually.
But for the what? Helping
I'm
out a
actually
certain-
helping out a certain individual from the B team who's setting this up. But
team.
you'll hear from us soon.
There's only one of them that could be. I gotta talk to him about this and get the insider tea.
Yeah, there's
I have a
some.
feeling I know who it could be here.
Anyway,
but,
that's in
this
like
is gonna be
April.
exciting.
So that's in
is
April.
gonna be
But you'll
exciting.
hear from us soon. So
Awesome! I can't wait to be wiped out in the tournament.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay. I think with that we're pretty much ready, right? We'll just go ahead and wrap up. Do you have any closing thoughts, Phillip?
I don't know, dude. It's been a good 2-man show. Who would have thought that not
Yeah.
having another guest on could still be so fun?
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you guys as well for coming onto the show, all the chat, anybody who interacted with us. If you know us or are from one of the teams or something, or know Valorant and want to consider hopping on, reach out to us on Discord or anywhere in the BU Gaming Club, and we'll definitely consider it. Okay, we're done. Anything else? I think we're done.
I think we are, dude.
I think we're done.
If you're interested in joining the Valo team, hit one of us up. Come on, we need more
Oh
players.
yeah, we do need new players for next season. Like it's coming up rapidly for tryouts for that.
I've gotten some interest from a player who's from Indonesia and a Radiant, so maybe somebody to add to your roster.
Yeah.
I'll get the scraps as usual.
No worries. No, we'll figure it out.
There's a Daria or BFK in there somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, well, we're done then. Thank you for coming out again, Phillip, and joining me as always. Thanks, everybody in the chat, for coming out and watching. And this has been Showstopper, the BU Gaming Club's Collegiate Valorant podcast. I was your host, Gabriel Moncau, and I'll see you guys 2 weeks from now on our next episode. Have a good night, guys.
Now we're down to just 2 players with a bomb down.
Falsely finding 3, 4. Will we see the ace from Falsey this round?